his move from the wing to center and how good he looked at center last year completely changed his trajectory. Yurov was a player who I had in my top 10 in his draft year, so he's a player I've always been really high on, but he just never seemed to get the looks and the power play time and the puck touches that he needed when he was on the wing at the KHL level. Certainly at the junior level, whether he was playing wing or not, he was going to dominate because of his skill level, because he's got decent size, he's an incredibly smart player. All of those things made him a dominant player against his peers, but there was really 3 years there where he just wasn't involved with the KHL team. And then I started to worry about his development. Last year was kind of like, okay, if he can't play 15 minutes a night for them, if they're going to play him 6 minutes a night again, his development is going to be in trouble. Like his progress is going to be hindered by the fact that he spent, then it would have been 4 seasons basically of toiling away in the KHL. So the fact that they moved him to center and then he just seemed to find a role on that team, and he was excellent right away as a center. I think because of the smarts piece, he just made it work. It changed everything. Now you've got a potential center. He's obviously a natural winger, but I think he's going to be a center now. Like that's a big deal. So and then obviously the production and being the team's leading scorer and all of that is huge deal for a player that age in the KHL. Now, I don't think the KHL now post-war is what it was. They aren't getting the same level of imports. They aren't getting as many AHL players coming over. So it's predominantly a Russian league now. And I mean, there are still North Americans over there and some good ones, but I do think the level of the KHL is a little bit lower now than it was. So some of those records that some of these kids are breaking, like Michkov and Yurov, I think you do have to take with a bit of a grain of salt. But I mean, he still did it. He still went out there and was one of the best players on a night-to-night basis as a center in a top professional league at an early age. Like he's a stud. I think he's got legit top 6 upside. Like he's going to be an impact. I'm not sure he's going to be a true star player. Like I don't think you're getting Kaprizov kind of thing, but I think he's going to be an impact guy in the NHL.
A ton of skill offensively. Like some of the goals that he scores in transition are beautiful. Like he has that classic, like just hit the offensive zone, pull the puck into his own skates, and then through the defender's skates, go top shelf. But he's also just such a good two-way forward. Like he gives you value on a PK. Like he's a really good defensive forward in his own right as is. He can play center. He can play wing. He's looked really good the last 2 years playing center in Russia. He's played the last 2 years. He's actually been given the ice time. The only concern is the fact that he's got 2 surgeries in the last 12 months is a little bit concerning, obviously. That being said, he's returned from both and looked really good. This year, the stats weren't eye-popping like they were last year. At the same time, again, 2 surgeries. And like the Metallurg team 2 years ago, obviously they won the Gagarin Cup. They're the best team in Russia. He looked incredible. But I mean, you've got a two-way pivot, scores, he can assist, he's a playmaker. His playmaking game for me is actually taking a big step too. Like, I mean, like one of the things coming into his draft year and all throughout his draft year, well, when he was playing, I guess, he was a guy that was creating a lot more offense for himself more than necessarily for his teammates. But like the move to center has really blossomed his playmaking game. Like he's been driving offense in Russia, so he looks really good. And again, just the fact that he's played pro hockey in Russia, one of the best leagues in the world, on a really good team with really good players, I don't think it should take him a whole lot of time to adjust. Anyone that's banking on him being a top 6 forward right away, that's a little bit, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Am I going to rule it out? No. But, I mean, who knows? You just stick him in the middle of Kaprizov and whoever else, and maybe, who knows? Get the Russian connection. But he can kind of give you a little bit of everything. I think he's probably like a 65, 70 point guy, potentially in the NHL. But he's just a really fun player, and he's looked really good. It was nice to see him come back from his surgery for the playoffs. He did score a real nice goal in the playoffs when he came back, even though they bowed out in that round against Omsk. But he's just looked really good the last 2 years. And, like, so probably, like, the move to center playing pro hockey, like, he's looked really, really good.
This is a guy, fingers crossed, as all goes well with keeping Kaprizov here, that should be centering Kirill Kaprizov for however much longer Kaprizov is here. Playmaker, but also, you know, like Riley Height, still has that ability to score. I think the fact that this year he made a transition to center and succeeded is incredibly exciting for the organization. There's a ton of skill there. He's a guy that, if Russia hadn't attacked Ukraine in his draft year, probably would have gone a lot higher. But just the geopolitical factors scared teams off him, and the Wild said, fuck it, we ball. We have an extra pick, so we're going to take the upside, and it looks like it's going to pay off in droves for them. He's a guy that you can probably pencil into, the 1 or 2C not this coming season, but next season.
But the thing with him is, even when he does play wing, that's a play driver. Like, in his draft year, that was a big question mark, was like, hey, can he drive offense for more than just himself? Because he's very good at that. He can create scoring chances on his own for him. But this past year, we saw versatile offensive skill set where not only was he setting himself up, but he was also like setting up his teammates and driving offense that way. And like, I think the biggest thing though was the fact that not just last year after he got drafted, but his actual draft year, he got the full KHL treatment. Like, Brett, you mentioned the fact that like the Russia-Ukraine thing knocked him down a peg, which is definitely true. But I think another level of the reason he went not top 10 was still the fact that like he got the full KHL treatment where I was like, yeah, you are 18. You're going to come sit on the bench and watch KHL games. We'll let you play like 15 U20 games.
Zeke, go.
Yeah, I mean, I think this guy, when I watch him play, watch highlights, it just seems like he's kind of got that like almost like electric step to his skating and to his skill. That's just super exciting.
He is absolutely projectable to be a top 6 forward that's going to put up legit offense. Phenomenal defensive forward as well. That's the other thing. Like, another guy that has super high offensive upside, but top defensive game as well. So even his B game still projects to be top 6.
Yurov is a legit player, and the move from wing last season to center for Yurov has sort of really changed his projection for me. Obviously had a brilliant season last year at center in the KHL, has been a little bit less productive this season, but looks like he's going to be a second line center now. And that's a big deal for the Wild.